Here. Welcome. I'm your friend and your host. My name is Navtaj. I've been investing real since 1981. And what we're going to be talking tonight is all about the wholesaling, how you can make money. I have been involved in coaching since 1993 across Canada, recommended by RCMP. What we do is things different. We take you directly in the court office where you can buy those properties directly. Been very fortunate to travel across this Canada in 27 different cities, 10 different provinces, and 3 territories to teach fellow Canadians how to invest in Canadian real estate. So tonight is the treat for you. This is some of the pictures from the field training when we train builders, real estate investors like yourself, directly in the field, whether we're taking a limo tour or bus tour, or whether tours of a bunch of builders in the city hall to the different locations though. A little disclaimer, information, strategies, and opinion contained in the presentation are provided for general information only. Please make sure that you get a appropriate qualified professional help before you act upon any information provided by us tonight. So who's ready to learn wholesale and flip houses for profit in Canada without any money, without any capital, and perhaps you like to do it virtually though? If you can, please let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Nito, is it possible you can just say, if you can hear me loud and clear, please type in the chat. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask only in the chat. Please don't raise hands. I'll be really appreciate it. If you can, very clear. Thank you, appreciate it. If anybody can have any questions or something, they can ask me directly. Thank you, appreciate it. All right. So what is exactly wholesaling? Just to give you very precise information, wholesaling houses is an exit strategy where you as an investor find a deeply discounted property, put it under contract, and sell the contract to the interested buyer for instant profit. No money down, no qualification, no real estate license, or without meeting anybody in person. You're never going to meet the owner. You're never going to see the property. You're never going to meet the seller. That is called virtual wholesaling. Let me ask you, who really wants to learn that tonight? Please put in the chat box. Who really wants to learn that tonight? Come on, we got a couple, I think, number of people here across Canada. And please let me know where are you from if you like. It'll be exciting. Why would you like to learn that? Because it's a great side hustle. Why not? And it's amazing how little do you need to know to do this type of thing and makes tremendous amount of money. Tonight, our focus is going to be all about wholesaling. And I'm going to be giving you some hints, and we will be also giving you some further invitation for other programs at the same time. So, do you need a license? No, thank you. You don't need any license, but you need to be a principal buyer in the transaction. It is very helpful to have specialized knowledge of buying properties at deeply discounted properties and selling process to the cash buyer. Once you bought the property, you also need to flip it to the cash buyer. It's like you become a bridge, a toll booth. You find a buyer, you find a seller, put them together, and put that in the difference in your pocket. But you can only sell your own property. You can't sell somebody else's property, make a commission because it's legal. Then you need to be a realtor. In Canada, you can only flip properties which are under your own contract, under your name. That's required. So what exactly you need to be doing to start wholesaling? Few simple steps. If you happen to be in the local market, let's say in Hamilton, somebody is in Halifax here tonight, We have people from Victoria. We have people from Brandon, Manitoba. We have people from Quebec. More or less, we have people from all across Canada tonight. So you need to figure it out, okay, which market I'm going to work with. Then you also need to start assembling the people who like to buy from you. These people are like real estate investors who like to renovate, the rehabbers, people like ourselves who like to buy and hold for long-term basis. And then you also need to be careful in case you happen to close. If you want to do one step further, how are you going to create a financing for yourself? You decided, hey, I'm going to flip it myself. I don't have any capital, but the money is available. Then you start searching for potential properties which you can wholesale. Also, it's entirely up to you if you want to flip it or fix and flip it, or keep it forever. Several different options, but tonight our focus will be simply wholesaling it. That you find a property at a deep discounted price, put it under contract, assign it to somebody else, and keep that difference as your wholesaling fee, as assignment fees. So what is exactly required? Now, there are markets. In every market, people go distress, death, divorce, drugs, depression, you name it. People go through many, many difficulties. The question is, how do you find these properties? 99% of the people are going to do which majority of people will do, is make it difficult. But there are 22 different techniques. How many? 22. There are 22 different techniques where 99% investors do not know that. Would you like to learn those 22 techniques to find deeply discounted properties as deep as 97%? So generally speaking, majority of people will find a distressed property or a distressed owner. Here's my question for you. Please reply in the chat box. What would you like to buy? A property from a distressed owner or a distressed property? What would you prefer? Please put in the chat box. Would you like to buy a piece of property from a distressed owner or a distressed property itself? I've got a couple of answers here. Some people say distressed owner, some people either distressed property, distressed owner. Excellent. Thank you for participating. That's the best and the fastest way of learning, by being involved. It's very important that you do that though. Next thing we need to do, what exactly are you doing? Now, it seems very easy. Is it really easy? Yes, it is, once you understand, once you get hold on, understand the process of it. Finding a buyer before securing a property under contract, or you're going to find a list of buyers who's willing to take the property from you. How do you know what's the property value? So we're gonna have a special training for you. We'll teach you 10 different techniques. How many techniques, please? 10. 10 techniques to evaluate any property in Canada within seconds. What kind of value can add up to your business as a wholesaler? A lot. Majority of the wholesalers will rely upon the realtor. But I don't want you to rely on the realtor. Sometimes you don't have access to it. Let's say you've got a piece of property in Cape Breton, but you live in Hamilton, or you live in Victoria, or you live in Brandon, Manitoba, or you live in Montreal, and you have no idea what properties are selling in Cape Breton. So we'll teach you certain techniques where you'll be able to evaluate any property anywhere in Canada within a few seconds. Few seconds, not minutes, without any of help. We'll give you resources where you can go online and you will have access to it. That's very important to understand. Second thing, what you need to have access to what? Cash buyers. Now, if you have one or two cash buyer, too bad, so sad, they may or may not be ready for you. You need about a couple thousand of them. How many? Couple thousand of cash buyers. Every time you got a piece of property, there are hundreds of people who want your property because you're selling at deep discounted price. It's very important for you to develop a list, or we can help you where you can log in and participate to thousands of cash buyers we have. Sometimes you might want to arrange a financing for you, but you have no job, no credit, not even a single dime in your pocket. Can you arrange financing for you? Answer is yes and yes. Even if you do not have any money, you have bad credit, you don't have a job, can we arrange financing? Can we arrange a mortgage? The answer is yes. There are several different techniques to it. Monies are available, money can be rented out. And I just want to give you a bit of a hint. Those who like to see the hint, here's the hint for you. Please write it down, the word. It is called asset-based lending. Asset. Let's say you bought a piece of property, is worth $100,000, but you got a deal for $60,000 or $50,000. And there are people out there who will lend you the money, a lot more than what you paid for it, without asking your credit, without questioning your employment. The money is available. There are several different techniques to it. Another technique could be joint ventures. So you need to align yourself. If you want to make a lot more money, if you don't want to be wholesaler, you want to do fix and flip properties, but you have no money. That's very powerful. And again, once you understand the process, it'll go very smoothly. You're gonna say, oh boy, this is easy. I never knew that I can borrow millions of dollars, even don't have a job. I don't even have a dime of money in my pocket, but there are several different techniques of it. The name of the game. Do you have the fish to fry? Do you have a really good deal? If you do have a good deal, money can be rented out. Here is something else, which is one of the best technique we find from time to time. People who are behind the mortgage payments. People who are behind mortgage payments. Question for you, you can put in the chat. If you are behind the mortgage payments, are you being stressed or are you becoming a distress owner? If you are behind mortgage payments. Put in the chat box if you like. If you are behind mortgage payments, how does it make you feel? You become what right away? A distress owner. Now you do not know what's going to happen to you. When the banker pull the plug on you, when you're going to become homeless. Is that a big stress? Absolutely. So other thing what people like to do is fix and flip. Here's a pretty picture how the older house used to look like and the new house look like now. Just notice that if they see the shrubs, bit of paint job, and it doesn't take much sometimes to fix and flip the properties though. Again, please do not discount. Please do not discount what you can see. Can you see this now? Can you see what's in the PowerPoint now? No PowerPoint. Interesting. Let me just save, please. I'm just 1 second. Oh, now you can see it. All right. Can you see it now or no? Okay, I think I have two screens running. Just 1 second, please. Okay, I think I have two screens running. Just 1 second, please. Excellent. Okay, great. Okay, I think I have two screens running. Just 1 second, please. If anybody excellent. Okay, can see great. This screen facing foreclosure. Okay, I think I have two screens running. Just 1 second, please. Facing foreclosure. If anybody excellent. Okay, can see great. This screen facing foreclosure. Okay, I think I have two screens running. Just 1 second. What happens if people are facing foreclosure? If anybody excellent. Okay, can see great. This screen. Just bear with me 1 second. I think I facing foreclosure. Okay, I think I have two screens running. Just 1 second. What happens if people are facing foreclosure? If anybody. Can you please forgive me for today, since if anybody can confirm it, if you can see this screen facing foreclosures. Facing foreclosures. Thank you, appreciate it. Next thing is we want to talk about is what? How do you find these deeply discounted properties? Are you going to be spending some time and money to start marketing it? Or do you want to learn much better technique? And you want to find those deals where there's a lot of meat on the bone. There's a huge discount so that you're able to sell those properties very quickly for a big profit. If you don't find enough, then you will not make enough money. And second thing, you may gonna start losing. The majority of the investors, they're gonna say, you don't have a good deals. And sometimes they may not want to deal with you second time. Now, if you are going to market it, there is several different techniques to it. Please do not do what others are doing. Do not follow the rat race. There are techniques called marketing on steroids. And I'll show you exactly how to do it properly though. And you will, if you want to learn more, you can go to flippingforprofit.ca. We'll be talking more about it later on though. So sell your home fast. What does that mean? Sell your home fast. What kind of people will come to you? So generally speaking, these people will not put their house in the market for sale through realtors or MLS. Why? Either they want to save commission, the house may not be presentable, and they do not like anybody coming in, invading their privacy. They could be hoarders. There could be properties which need repair. There are 1,000,001 reasons why people will not go on MLS, but they want to sell it fast. They have no patience. They don't want 30 people coming in. They don't want offer coming in and out. They just want straight. Here's my deal. What can you offer me? Bring me an offer. There's no condition. We'll take the deal. There are type of people who you are going to deal with. So next question is, where are you going to find people to find the cash buyers, other people who have like-minded. And some of you may gonna have issue finding a wholesale deals, and they're gonna say, you know what? No, it works nicely if you start having some sort of an association. Your net worth is going to reflect on your network. Who do you know? What do you know? Are you a member of Real Estate Investor Group Canada? Why? They've been around since 2005. What do they do every month? They're like-minded people. This is where you're going to find the money, the joint ventures, learning every month. You're going to also find other people who are interested in doing something which you are doing. And you're going to keep learning. Your networking is going to enhance your wholesaling business, investment business. Let's say today you want to buy one house. Then why don't you have an apartment building or medical suite, or you have a development site? Are you going to deny the deal? No. Become a member of brecanada.com, bring it down there, share with somebody else. Instead of getting nothing, at least get 25-30% of the deal. Yes or yes. Networking is very important if you're going to stay in the business of real estate. So you network with net worth, know your numbers. How do you know what's going to cost you to fix this ugly house? Some of you will be in for a shock. Or can you do and renovate any property without building permit? What requires building permits? Can you rely on the contractor? Should you give money all to contractor up front? Where you should be buying the material from? What does it cost? Majority of investors spend way too much money. I can teach you several different techniques where you can get building material for free. Anybody interested to learn how to get a building material for free? Is that okay that you get the job done at a fractional price, but it's first class, done by a proper trade? You need to know your numbers. If you do not know your numbers, here is somebody I know spent $30,000 to get a washroom done, and we can get the same quality of the washroom done for less than $3,500. 10 times the money, 4 weeks time, overtime is 4 days. We have better materials, better trade person who's a licensed plumber. Why not? So be aware of it right now, the way a market is. Be aware of all the expenses, because you may gonna find, oh, I think I know somebody, but not really. It's better to be associated with somebody, where you can go. And you may gonna find that, you know what? It looks easy, but I don't have proper connections. You need to have definitely connection. So knowing your number, first of all, how do you evaluate any property? In 1 second. The property is located, let's say, in New Brunswick. How do you know the value of the property there? What do you know what materials are available there? So again, next thing is contacts means contract. Who do you know? Very important for wholesale. Let's get down to it. You're going to convert leads to the deals. How do you do that? Let's say generate a lead. Not every lead is going to be a good lead, but that lead does not have to go in the trash. Somebody calls in and say, listen, I want to sell my house. My house worth 100,000, but I don't want to let it go for less than 95. It's not good for you, but you can recommend them to a realtor. A realtor will be very happy. They might be able to give you a gift or something, or you can refer to a mortgage broker or whatever it is. Do not let a lead die. If it's not good for you, it may be good for somebody else. Eventually what happens sometimes, they just want to know. If you do not build a relationship with a seller, the deal is not going to happen. It's not all about the money. It's all about the seller's needs. If the seller have no urgency, there's no big rush, there's no discount. So when you're talking to them, asking them a question, be aware, how do you ask them? Now, sometimes your phone will ring like crazy and all the leads you're getting, none of them are good. But doesn't mean that you can make money. You can still make money turning those leads to other people. For them, they are the sweetheart leads though. How much real estate wholesalers make an average deal? Now it depends. 5 to 10,000 is pretty average, but some wholesalers make a little bit more, some people make less, and they want to establish a relationship. Let's say if I'm a wholesaler and you are going to buy 10 property from me each year or 20 property each year, I'm not going to become greedy. Sometimes I want to give you a deal where I make nothing. Favor given, favor exchange. And sometimes I make $40,000, $50,000 on the same deal, and the other person doesn't mind because there's enough profit on the deal. Some deals, they're thin profit. You don't get the deal done. Why not? It's all about building a relationship, learning, networking, connections, generating a lot of leads. Wholesaling is businesses like how we socialize. And the name of the game is to make sure that you acquire every property at a deeply discounted price. If you're not doing that, you're not going to make much money out of it. Moving forward, instant cash means instant reward. There are deals going to come to you where people are going to say, listen, I need to sell my house. Today is Tuesday, 31st of August. Can you buy my house tomorrow morning? Do you have that cash? What is your answer? Please put it in the chat. How many of you have $2 million or $750,000 sitting cash, which you can certify tomorrow morning? But do you think the cash is available? Answer is yes. Can we buy the house on the same day? Answer is absolutely yes. There are certain techniques you will learn and we'll be happy to teach you. And not the people. If you have access to the cash, would you be able to write it down? Would you be able to write a check? Can you close the deal the same day? Do you have the proper lawyers who can do the deal? Again, the higher the rush, the most money you make. If they need 30 days, the profit will be less. If they need right away closing, you're going to make a lot more money. It's just like express service. Again, sometimes you may not have, but you can have other investors. They can join you in. Make sure you belong to our club, precanada.com. You may gonna find that you need more than one thing, more than cash. Connections will be very helpful for you. We have training coming soon on September 9th, flippingforprofit.ca. Just go down there. It's a 3-hour, very powerful, high value training. We'll be giving you more details shortly though. So here is the deal. How many are going to believe that what you're going to see here though? In Vancouver, property worth $370,000, sold for $1,600 altogether. Is that a good deal? How many of you would love to learn how to buy properties pennies on a dollar? How many of you love to buy properties pennies on a dollar? Full disclosure, every information can be verified in Canada. Those who are interested to learn those techniques, go to flippingforprofit.ca. This is a very important part of it, by the way, because you are going to learn how do we buy properties legally, morally, ethically in Canada for pennies on a dollar. The more you learn, the more you earn. That's what Warren Buffett said. Moving forward, those who want to learn how to buy properties 30 to 85%, we'll teach you top 20 techniques to find deeply discounted properties in Canada, which is not an MLS, It doesn't mean pre-construction, which is not by realtors. Top 10 techniques, how to value any property in a matter of seconds. What are the basic due diligence steps that you do not buy a lemon? How about forgivable Canadian real estate grants? How many of you are first-time home buyer and you have no down payment? Do you know that you can get forgivable down payment? What are the hard money lenders? What is the process of power of sale and foreclosures in Canada? How do you find this thing? Where are these properties? Please go to flippingforprofit.ca and get yourself a ticket to learn more about all these things that I mentioned to you. It will be a live workshop online, by the way. So what's the next step? What do you think to do? Again, I mentioned to you, this is what you're going to learn. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. Any question, please put in the chat box, please. Any questions? Only in the chat box. Any questions? All right, we got one question here. What's the question? The question is there any technique? There are several different techniques, but you need to have a lot more time. One of the best technique would be if you are, interesting. Let me ask you a question. Pick up one particular area so I can share with you one technique or one strategy with you right now. Stephen Blair, do you have any people? Yes, we have thousands of people. I've been teaching since 1993, 30 years of teaching, yes. As a matter of fact, each property we do, we have a full disclosure. We don't give the reference to people, we give reference to the property. That's why we bought a piece of property in Hamilton for $200,000, sold for $515 in 8 weeks' time, made $250,000 net profit. Would you like to know the address of the property? Would you like to know how we bought it? What was the reason? Was it a violation? Is it a city violation code? It's code violation. Some of you have never heard of those techniques. Some of you never heard about the technique called civil forfeiture. When you forfeit or when you lose your property. Asset-based technique, asset-based lending, you mean. Asset-based lending is similar to, is more or less is known as hard money lenders. Hard money lenders are private people who will lend money to people like yourself who are wholesalers or flippers. They understand you may not have any money, but you got a good deal. And they will lend you the money. For example, let's say you bought a piece of property worth $100,000 for $50,000, and you need another $5,000 to close, another $5,000 to repair. And they'll be happy to lend you $60,000. What difference does it make if they charge you 1.5% or 2% per month interest rate? They may gonna charge you 3 to 5 points. At least you got the money. Because of their money, they don't ask you any questions. They don't look at your employment. They don't care about your credit. The only security they have is your property because they know that you got a good sweetheart deal. In case you default, they'll be happy to take over the deal. That's asset-based lending. And there are very handful of people in Canada who do that. When you come to training, we'll teach you exactly how, what to do, what kind of rates you want to find them, how the hard money lenders works in Canada. It's very powerful. Not every business work with their own money. It's perfectly okay to rent money. You're renting money for 3 months. You call mortgages, you can call it promissory note, whatever you want to call it. Other technique which works extremely well is joint ventures. And you can bring other people in with the money and you share the profit 50-50. I'd like to take one more question. We wrap up tonight. No, sir, it doesn't take one training class to learn the whole business. I've been in business for 40 years. I'm still learning every day. You will not learn everything in one training, sir. No, that's not true. There are 22 different techniques you're going to learn how to find properties. Some of the stuff you might not even heard about in your whole life. How do you buy a property directly from Canada Revenue Agency? What is a civil enforcement? And you have no idea about it. There are legalities. There is a mortgage act. There are municipal act. There is a stuff which is called surplus properties. And these properties get sold for next to nothing. You might have heard about the gentleman named by Ted Rogers. How many training? No, it's not about training. There are one program we call apprenticeship. Once you come to a Flipping for Profit RCA, this training is only $100. This will give you a very solid, high value information where you're going to find all those deals, where you find forgivable down payment, where you find how to evaluate any property, 10 different techniques. If I ask anybody here, without consulting a realtor, would you be able to evaluate any property in less than 2 seconds? The answer is no, but I want you to be accurate at the same time. I don't want you to be everywhere. Then also, you want to write down the contract, purchase and sale agreement. How do you write it down? We have 10 different provinces, 3 territories. Each province have different laws. How do you make every offer without putting any of your own money, but have to be legal? How can you wholesale it and make sure you get paid? And how do you write a assignment clause in such a manner, if everything goes wrong, that you do not get sued? Majority of the wholesalers will write a piece of paper on a contract which put all the liability on you. In case anything goes wrong, you have chances to lose everything what you have. You do not want to do that. You do not want to risk everything what you got. You cannot play with the fire. Say, fire won't burn me, that can burn everybody else. No, sir, fire burns everybody. So you need to have protection. It's very important that you learn the business from somebody who's been doing for 30 plus years or 40 plus years, have done thousands of deals, and each deal can be verified publicly with full disclosures. When you come to the training for 3-hour training or Flipping for Profit RCA, we give full disclosures. I strongly believe in that. Here is something I'd like to ask all of you. And this may gonna sound very strange. Please do not trust anybody. Verify information more than 3, 4, 5 times. If I tell you about a property, you ask me a question: where's the property? How did you find it? How did you finance it? When did you buy it? When did you sell it? How much money you made after paying taxes, repairs, closing costs, and so on? They're all valid questions. If somebody doesn't want to give you disclosure of the rest of the property, red flag goes in. You want to deal with somebody who is fully ready to give you full disclosures. You can go to the website. The training is, I believe, September 9th or so on. We have training once or twice a month sometimes. Just go to flippingforprofit.ca. All the training dates are there. Any more questions? Please feel free to ask a question if you like. Thank you, Nita. We'll look forward to see you, my friend. Anybody else, any questions? Stephen, any question, my friend? Stephen Maynard. Anybody from the East Coast? Halifax? New Brunswick? Newfoundland? Quebec? How many of you are from Ontario here? All Ontario people. Just put the word yay. Ontario, thank you. Anybody from Manitoba, Alberta, BC? We got people from all across Canada. This place becomes really good place to sometimes chit chat with the people, get to know each other. I have met many, many interesting people. I've been teaching for about 30 years now, 29 years, start teaching in 1993. Anybody have any question before we wrap up though? So many people are lined up here tonight, oh my God. Okay, I was not expecting that many people here tonight. Anybody have any questions? This is one of the very rare things we do occasionally, to do a free webinar. This was meant mostly for wholesaling. All right, we are going to stop this sharing now. I want to say thank you very much for your time and sincerely appreciate your time. Thank you and good.